Hey everyone, welcome back to Take You Forward. So we will be continuing with DP on stocks, and it is the second problem. Best time to buy and sell stock, part 2. So what does the problem state? You'll be given prices of stocks on each day. Yeah, so you have been given the prices on each day. Now you're allowed to buy and sell stocks. As the name suggests, you're allowed to buy and sell stocks. Now, in this part one, what we did was you were allowed to buy once, sell once. But over here, you can buy as many times as you want and you can sell as many times as you want. Okay, so what you can do is you are going into the market, you say, I'm going to buy it on this day. So I'll say, okay, I'll buy it on this day and I'll sell it on this day. So over here, I'll make a profit of 4. I buy it with rupees 1, I sell it with 5. I make a profit of 4. Then I say, hey, listen, I'm going to again buy it over here and I'm going to again sell it over here, which gives me a profit of 3, which in turn gives me a total profit of 7, right? I could have gone other ways, like if I write down again 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, 4, I could have gone other ways as well. I could have said, hey, listen, I'll buy it over here, I'll sell it over here, right? Now, the thing that you cannot do is you cannot go something like this. You cannot buy before perform, like if you're buying before performing the next buy, you have to sell. So buy and then you have to sell. Then again you can buy any day. So this buy sell has to be done before performing the next buy sell. You can't be like buy, then sell. That is strictly not allowed. Got this? So performing this buy sell can be anywhere. Like you could just do a one sell as well. This is one where you say, okay, the profit that I'll make is 5. So you can perform buy sell as many times as you want, only with the condition that before buying a stock, you should have sold out the previous holding stocks. That is the clear instruction given to you. So you can perform this as many times as you want. And if to give me the maximal profit, you have to maximize this profit. In this example, the answer is 7. So you have to just make sure you do this, right? So how will you actually solve this particular problem is my question to you. So let's analyze this problem and try to figure out how will I try to approach these kind of problems. So what was I given? I was given 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, 4. Okay. So let's assume I will be starting over here. Okay, let's assume I'll be starting over here. It's kind of a 1D array. And when I'm starting off, generically, what can I do? I can be like, I can buy it, or I can sell, not buy it, let's move. I can buy it, and then I can sell it, or I'll not sell it, I'll sell it here. So what am I saying? A pattern of a lot of ways. Like you can do a buy sell, you can probably do a buy sell, you can do it on numerous occasions, right? And whenever there's a lot of ways, what do? You try always. Yes, you try always and you get the best possible answer from always. Now, when I say try always, what comes to your brain? Recursion. Recursion, because there can be a lot of ways. So, recursion comes to your brain, right? So, how do you write recurrence in DP? How do you write recurrence? Again, we will follow a standard procedure. What is the standard procedure of writing recurrence? The standard procedure is pretty straightforward. It is express everything in terms of index. Now over here, we have a plain array. And whenever we have a plain array, we can have the index working right across here. So what I will say is, okay, express everything in terms of index. That is something which I'll do. So we will be expressing everything in terms of index. Now, Do I need any other parameters is my question. We need to think on this. Now we have done problems like knapsack, if you remember, and in that we have to take care if our baggage was full or not, right? Now over here, if I am standing at here, what decision can I make on it? I can buy or I cannot buy. How did you understand? Because before this you have not bought anything. But if you're standing here, what decision can you make? What if you have bought someone here? Then you cannot buy here for sure. You can sell it. So what idea I'm getting is, on any index, I have to know whether I have bought anything previously or not. Because if this guy was bought here, I cannot buy this again. I definitely cannot. Or if this guy was sold here, then I can buy. So I have to know if any guys were bought right before this or any guys were sold, right? So do I have an allowance of buying? So I can say, probably I can carry something like buy, a variable like buy, which tells me, can I buy or not? If someone has bought this and he has not sold it, so over here I definitely cannot buy. So I have to carry a variable as buy, which tells me, can I buy that stock? If I can, I'll either decide it to buy or I'll skip it and go across. And if I cannot buy, then there are two options: either sell it off or don't sell it off. So I'll be like, okay, we have understood. We need one more variable which tells me, on that particular index, can I buy or can I not? Right? Perfect. Explore possibilities. Explore possibilities on that day. What am I looking for? I'm looking for best possible answer. So try to add up. What are you trying to make? Profits. Try to add up. If you're buying, then it is as a minus. If you're selling, it is as plus. I'll explain you when I write the recurrence. You're looking for profits, right? So take the addition of states or whatever you're wanting to do. Take the maximum of all profits make, because you are looking for profits. And then if you follow these, and then there will be a base case. If you follow all of these conditions, I think you will be able to write very easily. So without actually wasting any time, let's try to write the recurrence. Okay. So what did I say? Express everything in terms of index and buy. Okay. So let's analyze. F of index and buy. So assuming the array is 7 1 5 3 6 4. So assuming you start at the 0th index. So this is the price array, and you're starting at the 0th index. So can I say at f of 0 you have complete liberty of buying, because that's the first guy. I'm giving you complete liberty of buying. So I'll be like, okay, I get the complete liberty of buying, which is 1. Assuming liberty by 1 means you can, 0 means you cannot. So I'm giving them complete liberty. So what I am asking you is, f of 0 1 starting on 0th day with buy, what max profit you can give me? What max profit you can give me? That is what it signifies. Starting on this day, you're starting to do your trading on the 0th day. What maximum profit can you give me is the question. Okay, fine. So what can be the states? So we have understood these two states of index buy. So let's tick mark the first thing. Explore possibilities on that day. So let's analyze what can you do. One thing I know for sure is there can be two possibilities. Whether if there will be a buy, like I'm allowed to buy, or else I'm not allowed to buy. That is for sure. The possibilities will be this. And on this basis, I can make two profits. There'll be two profits that I'll make. Right? So let's assume if I'm allowed to buy, what will I do? Let's come back to this. What can I do with this 7? I will like, Striver, I'll definitely buy this. There's no other way around. I will definitely buy this. Or I'll say, hey Striver, this is too costly. Let's not buy this and move to the next guy and see if I can do a trading on the next day. So I'm saying you can buy or you cannot buy. Back to the previous days of DP on subsequences. Take, not take. Buy or don't buy. So assume, just for an example, assume if you decide to buy over here and you decide to sell it over here, what is the profit that you make? 5 minus 7 is the profit that you make, which is minus 2. So you're adding minus 7 to the answer whenever you're buying. You're actually adding minus 7 to the answer when you're buying. And when you're selling, you're adding plus 5. Got this? Because if you're doing a buy over here and if you're doing a sell over here, it's basically 3 minus 7 is the profit. So minus 7 is added to the answer. So can I say, if I decide to buy on that day, the profit that I will add is this guy. And if I bought on that day, I'll move to the next day, which is index plus 1. And if I bought, in the next, he cannot buy, he has to sell. So you cannot buy. Makes sense? Makes sense. And what if I decide, hey, listen, I am not interested to buy on this day because the price looks huge. I'm not interested to buy. I'm like, okay, fine. You are not interested to buy. So why don't buy, and you go across to the next day and you see, you still go with one saying, hey, listen, I will still go with the buy because in the next day, I still have the liberty to buy. So, this can be one way, which is take. If I just write this is take case, this is not take case. And I definitely know what I require is max of all profits made. So the profit will be max of these couple of guys. Either I buy or either I don't buy. As simple as that. What about sell? Because if I come across to the next guy, it is sell, right? So again, we'll try to sell. Because I know we cannot buy. If I coming to else, we cannot buy. We have to sell. Again, assume you are somewhere, where was the example? Assume you are somewhere over here. And I'm like, hey, I'm not interested to sell because the price is very, very low. The price is very, very low. I'm not interested to sell. Or you can be like 6. If you're over here, but the price is very high, let's sell it. So there can be again 2 ways. I decide I'll sell it. I'll say, hey, don't sell it. Let's move to the next day. So 2 ways again. So I'll be like, fine, let's go across. If I decide to sell it, I know the profit will be plus because I'm selling. The money is coming to me. The money is coming to me. So I'll be like, fine, let's sell it. So if I'm selling it, I will be getting something around prices of index plus function. If I've sold a stock, I will move to the next day and I still have liberty to buy. I still have liberty because I've sold it. Now I'm free. In the next junction, I can buy. But if I don't sell it, then the profit made will be this. I'll go to the next and I'll say, hey, listen, you're still holding a stock. You don't have a liberty to buy. And I know the max of this is what you take. And you return the profit at the end of the day. So can I say, this is what the possibilities will be. And you're returning the max of profits. So what I can say is, okay, fine. We have explored possibilities on that day. What's the next? Take the max profits has been done. Base case. You're trying on every day. When do you end up? When? You've tried on every day. You've exhausted the days. So I can be like, when you exhaust the days, that means when you reach this index, because you started here, you go 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 here, and ultimately you'll come to the nth index. So whenever you come to the nth index, there's no profit to be made. The array is over. There's no profit to be made. But you have to be careful over here. What if you actually bought a stock? What if you bought a stock and you did not sell it? So there will be a problem, right? So coming across, when you end all the days, so there's no profit to be made. You have invested some money, even if buy is 0, that means you're still holding a stock. But if you're holding a stock, That means you have invested a money minus. So that won't matter. So you will return zero. No more money you'll get from the market because you're done. No more money you'll get from the market. So if you have gone with something, it will be a negative value. So that will not be considered into your answer. This is how you can easily write the recursion. So if you have written the recursion, what is the time complexity? Okay, the time complexity will be very simple. 2 to the power n, because for every index you can either sell, like take or not take. So 2 to the power n. Space complexity will be bgo of n, the auxiliary stack space. And you can definitely optimize this because there will be overlapping sub problems. There will be overlapping sub problems. If you try to draw the recursion tree, you will see that there are overlapping sub problems of f of index and by. So you can definitely apply the memoization technique. And in order to apply the memoization technique, what do you apply? The changing parameters are index and the by. What are the values of index? From 0, 1, 2, 3, n. So n different values. What is by? Either you say 0 or 1. 1 for you are allowed to buy, 0 for you're not allowed to buy. So there are two values, 0 or 1. So this will be the DP state that you need to optimize. So if you use these DP states, you will be easily able to write it. So just make sure you just insert couple of lines, DP of index and by. And one more line, if DP of index and by is not equal to -1, you return DP of index and by. Again, I have explained these steps in the entire DP playlist. So if you're watching this video right from anywhere in between, it's not my fault. So yeah, without wasting any time, let's get started and code this. So let's quickly code this up. You're given the values and the n. So I'll just write the function. We know it will be an index, it will be a by, and we can definitely carry the same array and n. Perfect. So we know if index reaches n, it's over. So you can return 0. There is no more profit that you can make once the array is over. Or else there can be a couple of ways you can say, okay, listen, if by is there, or else if by is not there. And you know the profit can be easily made. So you can just keep the profit to be 0 and make sure it's long rather, because they want the answer to be in long, probably due to constraints. So profit will be max of couple of guys, So either you decide to sell it off, like you're buying. So this is the cost that it will cost you and you cannot buy any further, right? Or you can be like, okay, I'm not buying, so I'll move to the next, and you still have the liberty to do whatever. Or if you cannot buy, then you can sell. So if you can sell, then there will be a plus that is something which you'll get, and it'll go across and it'll say now you can buy. It's now you can buy. And over here, or you can say, okay, listen, I'm not going to sell as of now. So go, and the liberty is sell 0. Like you cannot buy. And at the end of the day, you can return the profit. Over here, you can say return f of 0, comma, the buy is 1, values, and n is what you return. Indeed, it does run fine. So what is the next step that we will do? We will try to optimize this by dp. So vector of vector int dp n comma vector int 2 size. So 2 size -1, and please make sure you pass it over here, which is dp. And over here you can write vector of int dp, and right over here before returning you can write dp of index and by. Again, very straightforward. And right over here you can just check if this guy has been previously visited. If not, why don't you return that guy, which is index and by. Just make sure you return it, and I think once you've done this, this should be running super fine. Okay, it will not run because we forgot to pass the parameters over here, my bad. So just make sure you declare the dp to be long, otherwise it will give you a wrong answer. So that's how you can easily solve this problem. But now it's time to convert this into a tabulation code. So we have done the memoization code, and we know the complexity of the memoization code will be bgo of n crosser 2, the space complexity will be n cross a 2 plus an auxiliary stack space. And I'm not a big fan of this. So this that in order to remove the auxiliary stack space, we have to apply tabulation. What are the steps of tabulation? The steps are very, very straightforward. You have to write the base case. And then you write all the changing parameters. This is I, and then there is by, right? And then you copy the recurrence. That's what you do, right? So let's write the base case. What is the base case? The base case was index equal to n. So you can say that, hey listen, you will be creating a dp of n plus 1 this time, and we will be starting off with dp of n equal to 0. That's what you will be starting off with, right? And right after that, what is I? How did you run the recursion? If you remember the recursion, it went in from 0 to n. So it's the reverse that you will do in tabulation. You start from n minus 1 till 0. And what about by? It will be from 0 to 1. You can go from 1 to 0 as well, but it will be from 0 to 1. So just write this and copy the recurrence. And if you do this, it will be running fine. And after that, we will do another space optimization on that. So I'll go back to here and we'll make it 0, okay? And right here we can say, just make sure it is n plus 1, so that we can be like dp of n of 0, dp of n of 1 is equal to 0. That's for sure, because index equal to n, by can be anything, but it has to be 0. Done. Next is, let's run the for loops. So we know the loops will be running from here till here, and we know there will be by. So probably it will be better if we write index, because we are going to copy paste the recurrence. So let's write index. Okay, by can be from 0 till 1. Perfect. Ready? Next, please make sure you copy paste the recurrence. There's no need to apply your brains. Just copy paste the recurrence, because tabulation is bottom up, right? It's the opposite of recursion. So you have copy pasted that. And over here, just make sure you remove this. Instead of this entire thing, it will be dp of index plus 1, and it is by 1. And this will be dp of index plus 1 and 0. So dp of index plus 1, and it will be 0. This will be dp of index plus 1 and 0. dp of index plus 1 and 0. Perfect. This will be dp of index plus 1 and 1. So just write this. dp of index plus 1 and 1. Perfect. So that's what you have written. And right over here, you have written this, and this will be dp of 0, 1 is what you return. dp of 0, 1. Now try to run this and see if this is running in the tabulation mode. It is indeed running. Let's quickly submit this and see if this is working fine. It is indeed working fine. Now, what is the next step? We know that whenever we are dependent on the previous, like this is the previous row, like index plus 1 is the previous, index plus 1 is the previous. So we are dependent on the previous guy, right? So if I try to show you in the iPad, you'll get a much clearer picture. Now, if you are following the space optimization technique from the first lecture, I think this is very easy for you. But for anyone who's coming out new, what are we doing? We were assigning these guys as 0 and 0, which is the nth index. Then we went on to n minus 1th index, and we tried to find this and find this. And in order to find this, what am I using? Let's go back to the code. We are using index plus 1. Like if you are standing at n minus 1, if you're looking at the code, you're using index plus 1, which means you're just using these couple of guys, right? And you're filling this easily. Similarly, you are also filling this easily by using these couple of guys. That is what you're doing, index plus 1 and index plus 1. You're using these couple of guys to fill this. And then you go to the next, which is n minus 2. And in order to fill this, you're using these couple of guys. So do you actually need to store this now? No. Again, you'll fill this. And then again, you'll go to n minus 3. In order to fill this, you'll use this and this. In order to fill this, you'll use this and this. So there's no need to store this. So you just need to store two variables. One is this and the another one is this. You just need to store two variables. One is this and the another one is this. So you can say this as the one variable, this as the other variable. So I can say this as the ahead because it's at the front, or you can say whatever you can call it. I'll try to call it, let's, because this is not by, right? You can call it whatever you wish to, or you can take two variable array as well. You can take two variable array as well. That's your choice, or you can take variables as well. So what I'll do is I will be like, okay, I'll go back to the code. What I'll do is I'll try to carry just two variables, vector int or rather vector long of the ahead guy because it's the ahead, and I'll be like 2 comma 0. And I know one thing for sure, the ahead is this, and this is the ahead guy. And I know there will be current which I'll compute because the current has to be computed, right? And these are the ahead, so let's take it from ahead. 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 And this will be the current guy. And once you've done this, just interchange, because in the next step, if I show you the iPad, whenever you go to the next n minus 2, this guy will be the ahead, and now you will use these guys. So just interchange. Once you have done this, you know this at the end of the day is previous. So you just change this off, and you now try to run this. Okay, my bad. Okay, my bad. It will be ahead, not previous. So yeah, this just make sure it is ahead. I've been so habituated to use previous and current that I wrote it. Okay, that's fine. Submit this, it will be running fine. Now, okay, so this is the most optimized stuff that you can do. But in the discussion forum, you will see that people not using the two-wala array, and they will be using variables. You can also use variables instead of the two-sized array. That is, there's a similar stuff. And if you use the 2D array, that then also it is similar. Like over here, what are you using? You're using 2 space over here and 2, so that's 4. So you'll see a lot of solutions they're using 4 variables to write it. It does not optimizes it. It's still the same thing. If you're using 4 variables to solve this, it's the same as using a 2 and 2 size array. It's 4 space that you're using, right? So in lead code discussion forum, you will see that people using 4 different variables to solve this. Again, I will not say that it is wrong. You can still use 4 different variables, that is your choice. Like, what are we doing over here? If you carefully see, we're basically running a loop from n minus 1 till 0, and then there is a by which is like from 0 to 1. So it's like 0 once there is a 0 and once there is a 1. So whenever it's a 0, the else part gets executed. Whenever it's a 1, the if part gets executed. So you will see in the lead code forum, what they will do is they'll omit this. Yes, they'll omit this. And since by is 0 and 1, both will get executed once and once. So what they will do is they will first execute the 0th guy, then they'll execute the 1th guy, right? And they'll store it. So you can also do the same thing. So what you can do is you can say this guy to be ahead, like this is the not by case. So you can say ahead not by, and you can say ahead by case, and you can say this guy to be cur not by, and you can say this guy to be cur by. Okay, so let's come back to whenever by is 0, what happens? Let's go back and check what happens. I'm saying profit goes to the cur by whenever by is 0. So let's write this. Cur not by, because by 0 means cur not by. What happens on cur not by? Let's go back. I'm saying the value of index plus ahead of 1. Ahead of 1 means ahead of by. Ahead of 1 means ahead of by. So let's write max of values of index plus ahead of by is what you write. And what's the other thing? 0 plus ahead of 0 means ahead of not by. Ahead of not by. So if you write this, can I say the cur not by? Because what are you generating? Cur of 0. Cur of 0, right? Cur of 0. And what is cur of 0? If you carefully observe, cur of 0 is cur not by. So you have generated that. Perfect. What's the next thing that you'll do? Cur of not by is done, and this is also done. Next thing that you will do is you will take cur of by and you will write max, because the next thing will be 1, which means this guy will generate, which is cur of by. And for this, what's the formula? Let's see. Let's go back. Whenever you add by, which is 1, this is 1, right? This is 1. So whenever you add this, what's the formula? Minus value of index plus ahead of 0. So let's write it. Minus values of index plus ahead of 0. Ahead of 0 means not by. Ahead not by. Comma 0 plus ahead of 1. 0 plus ahead of 1 means ahead of by. And in this way, you can easily get the current by, not by, and current by, which means you have filled up this guy and this guy. And in the next step, when you go across, you'll be like, okay, these guys will serve as ahead not by and ahead by in order to compute this and this. So you can just omit this and say, okay, listen. Next step, ahead of not by will be cur of not by. So instead of 2D array, you'll just do this. And ahead of by will be cur of by. And you actually solve this using this wonderful variables. And this is the solution that you always find in a lot of discussion forums, but you don't understand. So this was the entire intuition behind this possible solution. So now what I will do is, I'll now go back to the code and now I'll try to omit this portion, okay? And let's try to write it. Long, 0 means not by, you know this. Not by, perfect. 1 means by, you also know this, right? So by. So this is what you write. Perfect. Let's quickly declare this as well. Long of ahead not by and long of ahead by. Perfect. I've declared both and I've assigned them to be zeros. Amazing. Instead of this, I'll omit this now. Let's omit this. Let's omit this entire stuff. So, and I need one other variables, which is cur by and cur not by for sure. Okay. So I know I'll have to switch. So instead of this, I'll say, okay, ahead by will be cur by and ahead not by will be cur not by for sure. That's the first switch that I'll do. Perfect. Now let's come over here. I know whenever by is 0, this is executed, right? So what I'll do is, I'll say, okay, this is definitely going to be executed. And the profit goes and stores in cur by, which is cur by. Cur not by, the else one. The else one is cur not by. And whenever it buys, it's cur by, for sure. And I can remove the if. I'll make sure that both of them gets executed. So this guy goes, this guy also goes. So I'm left off with cur by. Right? I'm left off with cur by. I'm left off with cur not by. Perfect. This is over because I've assigned them. So I'm executing both of them without actually running a for loop because I know both of them will execute it. So first, the cur of not by was executing. You can execute that at first or at end, doesn't matter. And you can execute the cur of by. Perfect. Now, let's come back to changing this slowly. Ahead of 1 means ahead of by. Ahead of 0 means not by. Perfect. Ahead of 0 means not by. Perfect. Ahead of 1 means by. Perfect. I think we have done this. And 1 means ahead of by. Amazing. Amazing. Isn't it? And we run this. Hopefully it runs. Yes, it does. It does. Let's submit this. Wow. That is how you generate the variable solutions from a recursion, from a tabulation, from a space optimization. This is how you generate the variable solution. Just don't mug it up. have the intuition, and it's 5:41 a.m. in the morning. So, guys, I hope you've understood the entire stuff. Just in case you did, and just in case you did not, please take a pen and paper and try to do it. And just in case you did understand, please give it a like. And if you're new to this channel, please do consider subscribing to us. It is very, very important for us. And yeah, with this, I will be wrapping up this video. Let's meet in the next one. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Good.
Whenever your heart is broken.